IPRAS 2009 and the Association of Plastic Surgeons of India presents Varanasi, the city of God and lights, the beating heart of the Hindu, Jain and Buddhist universe, and one of the oldest living cities of the world. Situated on the banks of the Ganges, it is an ever-flowing symbol of hope for the devotees who take a dip in its holy waters in search of salvation. Known as Kashi in the past, this holy city was renamed as Banaras and once again as Varanasi, which is its modern-day name.
Archaeologically, the history of Varanasi goes back to about 1200 BC. There is a continuous habitation at the mound which we have excavated near the Adi Keshav Ghat of Varanasi. That's why we say that this is the earliest living city on earth.
Varanasi has a rich history of being a center of advanced learning. Even the present-day Banaras Hindu University is unique in itself, where ancient Ayurveda as well as modern medicine are taught beside each other. Historically, all branches of learning from art, culture, religion, science, medicine and philosophy prospered in this extraordinary city. It was here that Tulsidas wrote Ramcharitmanas. Lord Buddha delivered his first sermon after gaining enlightenment at Bodh Gaya, and the sage Sushrut practiced Ayurvedic surgery. Amongst Varanasi's many contributions to the world of science, Ayurveda is possibly the best known. The four main Vedas of Hindu mythology are the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Sam Veda and the Atharv Veda. Ayurveda, or the knowledge of life, is an evolution of the Atharv Veda and is a system of traditional medicine originating in the Indian subcontinent. In Ayurveda, principles of the universe such as fire, earth, water, space and air come together to make three different types of bioenergies or doshas which constitute the human body. When any of the three doshas of Vat, Pitta, Kapha accumulate in the body beyond a desirable limit, the body loses its balance. Ayurveda itself dates back to the Vedic age, which spans from 1500 BC to 600 BC. It was divided into 8 branches, dealing with topics ranging from internal medicine and psychiatry to toxicology and surgery. One of the 8 branches was Shalya Chikitsa, or the science of surgery. Shalya Chikitsa finds its roots in the war surgeons of the time. Shalya, which means foreign object, usually referred to broken arrowheads embedded in the warrior's body. So literally translated, Shalya Chikitsa means the removal of foreign objects from the body. Sushrut was not only a practitioner of surgery, but a teacher of it as well. The credit for using Ayurveda to combat mortal suffering goes to Lord Dhanvantri, who was reincarnated as King Divodas of Varanasi. 2 influential works on traditional medicine from that time are the Charak Samhita from the School of General Medicine and the Sushrut Samhita from the School of Surgery. The Sushrut Samhita was a compilation of the learnings of sage Sushrut. He learnt the basics of Ayurveda from King Divodas and laid the foundation of Vedic medical technique for surgery in the form of this Sanskrit manuscript on Ayurvedic medicine. Sushrut described 8 different types of surgical interventions: Bhedan, which means incision, Chedan or excision, Vyadhan refers to puncturing, Lekhan, which is scraping, Eshan, that is probing, Aharan or extraction, Visravan, which means draining, and Sivan, which is stitching or suturing. Like the therapy, the instruments that Sushruta used were also heavily inspired by nature. Apart from metals, teeth, horn and wood were used extensively. The mouths of these appliances usually resembled those of different birds and animals that he observed. The instruments that Sushruta designed and used for surgery were either blunt or sharp. There were 20 different types of sharp instruments and 101 different blunt instruments. These were further divided into 6 categories. What is truly astounding is that today's lion jawbone holding forceps, commonly used in orthopedic surgical procedures around the world, seems to have directly evolved from Sushruta's Singhamukh Yantra of 600 BC. It is an accepted fact that ancient Indian metallurgy was extremely advanced. Objects recovered from excavation sites at Rajghat on the southern outskirts of Varanasi prove that iron was being widely used in the Vedic era. The resident Agarya community, even today, uses the rich iron ore deposits in the nearby Vindhyan ranges to smelt iron. Given that steely iron objects dating to around 600 BC have been recovered, archaeologists confirm that Sushruta would have used instruments crafted from steel for surgical purposes. Sushruta believed that to understand Ayurveda, it was important to understand the human anatomy. For this, he would wait at the confluence of the Varuna and the Ganga rivers to capture and then dissect dead bodies to teach anatomy to his pupils. This was considered desecration by most Hindus. Sushruta proposed first to deal with embryology and then the anatomy of the human body, which is an extension of the embryo. His description of a woman's ovarian fluids and a man's sperm that combined to make an embryo was seminal and millennia ahead of his time. Sushruta divided the human body into 3 categories: superficial structures, internal structures, and deeper structures. He often wrote in painstaking detail about the various organs of the body. He even enumerated 700 veins and up to 24 main arteries. During the process of surgery to alleviate pain, Sushruta used medicated wine to intoxicate and desensitize the patient. Most importantly, he recognized the use of drugs. Sushruta detailed and described about 650 different types of drugs, including 395 of plant origin, 57 substances of animal origin, and 64 mineral substances and metals.
Sushruta's contribution to plastic surgery can be taken in 2 ways. One, his principles of plastic surgery, and second, his practices on plastic surgery. As a practice of surgery, he has done 15 different types of earplasty, and he was the first to describe the pedicle flap for repair of damaged ear. And he also described plastic surgery of damaged nose as well as lip-plasty also.
His shloka on one of his principles is particularly pertinent, where he has written, "Plastic surgery is a relationship between flesh and blood, where if there is excess or lack of blood, the graft will not survive. This is remarkably similar to what Sir Harold Gillies wrote in the 20th century. Plastic surgery is a race between beauty and blood supply. Going above and beyond his role as a surgeon, he showed compassion towards those who suffered. He developed rhinoplasty to reconstruct noses for people who'd been deformed or had their nose amputated as a form of criminal punishment. He followed the technique of dissecting living skin from the cheek and grafting it onto the nose, which is the precursor to the subsequent Indian forehead flap rhinoplasty. His most astounding revelation about flaps comes in the form of his most sublime shloka, Sanubandhen Jivitaha, which when literally translated means, through continuity survives. It single-handedly established the principle of the need of a viable pedicle in continuity for the survival of the flap, which was 2 millennia before modern medicine enunciated it formally. Talking of the importance of hemostasis, he says,
Dehasya rudhiram moolam rudhirenaiva dharate tasmad yatnena sangraksham raktam jeev iti sthitih.
Blood is the origin of the body. The body totally depends upon it. Hence, every attempt must be made to preserve it. About the qualities of an incision, he writes,
Tatrayato vishala sama suvibhatto nirashray iti vranaguna.
These are the qualities of a good incision. It should be of adequate length, extensible, having regular and uniformly cut edges, having all the layers cleanly incised, and should be independent. These and many more shlokas are found in the Sushruta Samhita, which itself is divided into 2 parts. Both parts deal with different states of medicine. They contain 184 chapters, a description of 1120 illnesses, a detailed study on anatomy and surgery, as well as the basic tenets of most modern medical practices. Sushrut's legacy in the field of surgery is varied. His principles